All right, good people. All right, good people. Back at it once again. I tell you, these Ravens, they ain't gonna let me just have a week where I can just, except for the bye week, because I didn't have to stress as much over a Ravens game. They gonna just keep the comebacks coming, I guess. They just gonna keep that up, and they just gonna make sure that Ravens fan, you know what? We just gonna make sure you bring your heart monitors when you watch Baltimore. I tell you. Recap coming. Welcome in to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, I mean always, he means always, they mean always, you mean always, she means always, an instant classic.
Danny Dunn! Hi, Jake.
We will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
All right, what's going on, good people? Back once again, another Ravens recap. I promise you, I wanted to do a preview of this game. I really did. Time was not on my side this week. Ended up going to Indy on Thursday into Friday, and then a busy weekend from then on out. But I was trying. I'm gonna try to get a preview out for the Dolphins and the Ravens game for this week. I'm gonna try to be more consistent on it. I got it. It's coming back. But nonetheless, good, interesting Sunday. Yes, because I feel like this entire season has been nothing less but interesting, to say the least. I mean, you had the Bills losing to the Jaguars yesterday, like the Cowboys and the Broncos game. It seemed like every team that was favored yesterday was down at one point. Even with the Titans going on Sunday night, the Titans without Derrick Henry, you're thinking, okay, this going to be a way for the Ravens to get back into the AFC driver's seat. They're going against the Rams at that, the Super Bowl favorites, or at least NFC Championship favorites, or whatever. Yeah, but I don't know. Shout out to Rail. Rail always. I feel like Rail be having the notifications on. You know what? Everybody need to be a little more like Rail, okay? Everybody need to be more like Rail, so that way y'all can come by and watch me do this live. Lucky than good. Hey, it sure is. It sure is. I take Lucky. I take Lucky. I take Lucky or good, whichever one. Whichever one, I take it. Because I'm sure the Jaguars fans out there, they happy about that one, that 1 or 2 wins they're gonna end up having at the end of the season. They take just one or two. Anyway. But real quick, in turn, I don't want to be too long on this one. But for me, coming into this game, I feel like everybody in the Ravens flock of fans is sitting here like, we're gonna stop predicting scores, because number one, I don't know if you can ever predict a score with the Vikings, because the Vikings for some reason are always one of our biggest competitions I mean, they were showing, I can't remember what show it was, but before this game they were showing like all the games that the Ravens have played against the Vikings and how like close they've been and epic games and all this. So I shouldn't really be surprised that this one was the same, right? Ridiculous. Another ridiculous game to add to the list of ridiculous games that the Ravens have put their fans through this season. Coming off of the blowout loss against the Bengals, which was a sad day, and then I got to think about it for 2 weeks over the bye. But it was nice to see the Bengals come back down to earth against the Jets. That was beautiful, wonderful. And then the Browns took him to school as well. So that was nice to see. I'll be excited when the Ravens play the Browns again. Yes, the Browns again, but also the Bengals again more so. Browns coming up very soon too. Is that week 12? Can't remember right off. I know they got Miami. I think they got Miami, the Browns, the Steelers, the Browns. I think that's right. I don't know right off. I don't know the schedule. Adam maybe can fill me in. Shout out to Adam being here. He got the notifications on. He got the notifications. Okay, he got them on. But I was excited. I was like, okay, this game right here, they're coming off the bye. They're gonna come out here. They're gonna blow out the Vikings. I probably would have said that on record for a preview. Dang on it, 12-14. Yeah, I thought so. I'm like, they gonna come out here. and they gonna blow out the Vikings because they gonna come out here angry, mad about what happened. They gonna bounce. It's the bye too. You know the Ravens are notoriously good after the bye. So I'm like, this the bye too. They gonna come out here strong. They gonna start fast, and then they started like they was racing the tortoise and the hare out there. I was like, what am I watching? Right? Like I feel like sometimes I'm watching the Ravens and I'm like, oh Lord, is this team as good as I think they are? Because they have some moments where I'm just like, don't put me through this today. No, I never doubt that they can come back, but it's just like, can you just blow some teams out every once in a while? Give me a Browns Bengals game every once in a while, okay? You know, give me the Ravens Chargers game every once in a while, okay? Can I get that? It's not 2019 anymore. I got to get these close games, whatever. But real talk though, I was excited coming into this game. I felt like it was gonna be pretty good, given how the defense is, especially for the Ravens going up against the talent that the Vikings have, and the Vikings tend to show up, especially against the Ravens. But the Vikings, I think the Vikings are one of those teams. They remind me a lot of the Falcons, right? They should be good, but they're just not, right? They should be good, but they just can't find a way to win games. Which I don't know if that's that they're not good, or if that's more so they just can't win at this point, right? The Falcons are the same way. The Falcons got, the talent on the Falcons roster, especially if you want to go back to last year, but even this year too, they still got a lot of talent on that offensive roster. You're sitting there thinking, how the heck are they not competing for the division? The Vikings are this same type of team. When they signed Kirk Cousins and they got Justin Jefferson, even before they had Stephon Diggs, they got Thielen and all these guys. They had Kyle Rudolph in the past. I'm like, yeah, they finally got a quarterback that it can at least, be formidable, right? Can at least come in there and do as Brad would say, the game manager thing. I'm like, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. And then they tricked me like the last 3 years. Like they went to the playoffs that 1 year with Case Keenum, and then they went and signed Kirk Cousins, and they've kind of just been floundering or like middle of the pack pretty much for the rest of the time. And I'm like, you just expect them to pull out some of these games, and they do, but they end up winning less of these games, and they end up losing less of these games than they win. So anyway, hate to get on a Vikings rant there, but they're just kind of one of those frustrating teams. You're like, okay, the Packers finally got some competition, and then the Vikings come around and middle of the pack it up. But in terms of the Ravens' performance, I'm just going to start here offensively. If the Ravens could stop the starting slow thing, I would be very happy, okay? For some reason, and I feel like, I don't know if it's been every game. Like, you can point to the Detroit game as a game where they kind of started slow offensively, but I think at the same time, some of that was lack of execution. Some of that was drops where the receiver had plenty of opportunity to catch the ball. Well, like in a lot of these games, especially the ones where they had to come back from behind, Chiefs game was one of them. You got down by 14 in that one. The Colts game was definitely one of them. This game was one of them where the offense for some reason just starts slow. I feel like that goes back to play calling, right? I feel like that goes back to play calling. Like, where are the drive starter plays? The Ravens don't do a lot of drive starter plays. They're either taking a shot or they're running the ball, right? Or they're checking it down. There is no like in between. Like they do, they throw a lot of 10-yard passes, yes, but there is no like, all right, we're gonna throw a screen or something. We're gonna like ease you guys in. No, they're going for the bacon, or they going for the little chicken wing on the side or something. Like they don't do the little in between plays that much. Like, yes, they do a lot of 10-yard plays. Hollywood will do his little comeback thing where he comes back to the ball, runs backwards, runs back forwards. Like yes, that'll happen. But like in terms of like easy drive starter plays where the offensive line isn't backed up or whatever, trying to pass block for Lamar to throw down the field or whatever. And I'm like, come on. Like, I'm like, come on. Like, can you just give me, like, I don't understand why the Ravens don't run screens, because they literally got a great run blocking team, which run blocking is pushing people backwards, right? You're pushing people. The line is on their toes, pushing people backwards. A screen would be perfect for that. But no screens. We can't run screens. I think we get the once a month quota. We hit it. You have to admit that cousin CD was yeah. Good old Kurt. Good old Kurt. I just for me, the Ravens offense, like I don't know what they be doing sometimes. Like just do some simple things. Run a dang on screen. Okay? Just run a screen every once in a while. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes they don't have their fair share of drive starters when they start slow. Like I know they got 3 on the first drive, and then I think they punted 4 times, and then they started scoring again. I'm like, there's no way. Like, do something to get the offense jump started. And when I listen to other people, they felt like kind of the Ravens have stepped away from the run game, and that's what it is. And I think that comes down to the personnel that they have at this point. Devonte Freeman did play well once he really got going. But I think at the same time, like sometimes you got to just take what's there, and not even necessarily saying the check down. More so, just run a screen or something, run a draw. I don't know if the Ravens ever run a draw play. It's rare. It's probably that's probably once every 2 months or something that they run a friggin' draw play. I rarely ever see them run a draw play. Maybe they'll do that. That offensively, the only issue is that they just got to start faster. Stop starting in the third quarter when you're down at halftime. Like, I'm good for a good narrative killing comeback victory and all, but dang on it. Like, just can you give me 1 or 2 blowouts, please? Thanks. But for real though, like, if the offense has got to start faster, I don't know what really could help that. Yes, a drive starter play, maybe, maybe just getting it to guys and letting them run after the catch, for a team that was last in yards after catch last year. I think they're far better, at least from the eye test perspective. I don't know the true stat, but from the eye test, they've seemed to be better in that regard. But also like third down conversions, I feel like that's an issue. Like I know Bateman convert. I think like almost every one of his catches has been for first down this year. So I mean he converts in terms of when it's first, second, third, whatever down. But I think third down conversion is probably one of the worst. Ravens probably one of the worst in the league when it comes to third down conversion percentage. I feel like I don't know the stat off that either, but just watching the game, I'm like they never convert third down. It feels like it's like they got to be like 50% or lower or something. Which how they're winning games at that clip, I don't know. And then when it comes to, I don't know, I improve the third downs. Don't always go for the big play. Get a drive starter. The offense overall played well, right? Because I think Lamar started out kind of rough. He was missing some throws here and there. But I think at the same time, he started with 8 incompletions. I think he ended with like 12 or 14. I know it was 12 at one point, if I'm not mistaken, because I thought it was 10. I thought it was still 8, and I was tripping. But it was – yeah, but he ended up with like 12 or 14, I think, which is good. That he responded well. I felt like that was good. Defensively, I'll figure out that offensive point I was trying to make. I forgot it, but defensively, it's just a big play, right? The defense is not bad. It's a microcosm of a lot of different things. In previous games, it's been missed tackling causing big plays. Right. This one, busted coverages. That's been the thing all year, but busted coverages causing misplays. I think there's been a little bit of over aggressiveness causing big plays because Dalvin Cook had a huge run yesterday, and then Justin Jefferson had that big touchdown, that really long touchdown, and after that, the Ravens defense really dialed in and made sure that the Vikings weren't going to move the ball that much more, which I think was good. Was good improvement, good adjustments as well. If they could limit the big plays, this defense could be far better than what it is right now. And maybe some of that's just being a little bit more conservative. Like, can you get there with 4? I don't know if this team can get there with 4, but can you get there with 4? You might be able to. I don't know. Maybe against the Kirk Cousins, possibly, right? Or Derek Carr, somebody who kind of, sits in the pocket a little bit more. Yeah, you probably could. On a 4-man rush or whatever. But I mean, I felt like for the most part, it was a pretty good game. I think Anthony Averett had a really good really good game in this game. I think Marlon Humphrey had a bounce back game in this game. So that was good. I mean, I from the defensive perspective, I'm not, I'm still like concerned in certain ways, but at the same time, I'm impressed too. If they could just tighten up a little bit, they'll be fine. I think defensively, the Ravens did lose Deshaun Elliott for the rest of the season to a torn biceps and triceps, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But that, or it might be a biceps and labrum. I can't remember right off, but I know it's an arm injury. So he's done for the year, which sucks. Brandon Stevens is going to come in for him. Hopefully he'll play well. I know the Ravens are high on him, so hopefully this will give him his time to shine. Unfortunately, it was a contract year for Deshaun Elliott too, so that sucks. But I think it was good. I mean, and I think it's kind of another chance for him to step up a little bit too, because it being contract year for Deshaun Elliott, I don't know if I expected him to retain Deshaun Elliott. To be honest, I think that's why they drafted Brandon Stevens, was for that point. And it's kind of like I can't remember what's the guy's name, the fullback that they drafted. Patrick Ricard had a great game with some of the catches he was making. He had a great game. I can't remember who they drafted. They drafted a fullback this year, probably because this is Patrick Ricard's fit. This is Patrick Ricard coming up on his 5th-year option, and they're probably not going to retain him either this offseason. I don't see them paying Patrick Ricard. They didn't pay Juszczyk way back when either. Remember Juszczyk, came from Baltimore, and that's where he got a lot of that initial fame or whatever. So I think it's kind of that do-it-all type of fullback, and now Patrick Ricard is showing that, but I don't see them retaining Patrick Ricard. I see the Ravens, if they're going to sign anybody, they're going to sign skill positions, skill positions, linemen, especially especially on the defensive end. They're going to try to retain people on the defensive end. Probably not Deshaun Elliott. I don't know if they'd even retain Chuck Clark at this point. Whenever his time comes, I just don't see it happening. I see them easing somebody back into that, into that role. I don't, that's my thing. Like, Chuck Clark is not like, and neither is Deshaun Elliott, I would say, even though I like them, they're not one of those game breaker type guys. It's not Ed Reed sitting back there. It's not Troy sitting back there or something like that. So I don't necessarily see them retaining either one of those guys really when the time comes. I don't even know if they retain Anthony Averett as good as he's been. They may, since he's played well, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll retain him either, but nonetheless, I mean, they retained Tavon Young injury after injury riddled season. So I would be surprised. I feel like they probably should retain Anthony Averett. But nonetheless, I mean, offensively, real quick, back to the offense. When it comes to the offensive line, it's still a little suspect at times. I still would like to see the Ravens run a screen or two more. Run one of those plays that's a glorified toss, right? That'll help the offensive line too, and let them push like they want, like they were made to do. They're made to push forward instead of kind of trying to retreat back to pass protect. So let them do that a little bit more often than not. But nonetheless, I think it was a good win. Let me see if I can grab the score of this game, because for some reason, I'm blanking on it. 34-31 in overtime. This is the third overtime. Yeah, this is the third, if I'm not mistaken, the third overtime that the Ravens have been in this season. And with the one loss going to the Oakland, the Vegas Raiders. I'm almost certain that the Chiefs game didn't go in overtime, but a good win. I still think there's so much potential for the Ravens that I think they just got to clean some stuff up, both offensively and defensively. And there were even special teams mistakes in this game. One of the touchdowns that the Vikings had was the kick return. The kick return, I think, right after half, if I'm not mistaken. The Vikings were moving the ball. It felt like just throughout this game. I'm even thinking the defense was playing better than they were. The defense played okay, but I think they did try to make them earn it a little bit more when it came down to it. Because that was that one drive where like the fullback, it was like the fullback bowl or something. Because the fullback Patrick Ricard caught a couple of passes and a touchdown pass, And then CJ Ham got behind. I think it was Deshaun Elliott. I think it was the play that Deshaun Elliott got hurt, if I'm not mistaken. Was that play where CJ Ham had caught that big pass like 15, 20 yards down the field or whatever. But nonetheless, a good win against a pretty good team in the Vikings, a team that probably should be better than they are. But I feel like we say that a lot about the Vikings. Hopefully the Ravens can clean up some things and get themselves ready for this quick turnaround with the Thursday night football game against the Miami Dolphins. Should be fun. Probably be a lot of Ravens fans in Miami for this one too. Given a lot of the Florida boys on the Ravens team, should be fun. Kind of going to be like almost a home game in a way for the Ravens. So I'm excited. I'm gonna try to get a preview out Wednesday, more than likely, because I know we're gonna do the picks on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'll get a preview out for the Thursday night football game. Should be fun. Been a minute since the Ravens had a Thursday night football game, so should be fun. But definitely hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to tune in on Tuesday for the Baltimore Colts Show weekly picks. And other than that, we'll keep you posted on anything else that we may talk about too. So hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, we'll see you on whatever that one may be.